In this video, I have a partner check-in call with Michael, one of our partnering agents out of New Jersey. Michael is a fairly new agent, only being licensed for about 2.5 years now. He's actually been able to generate $2.45 million worth of sales volume with us in the first 18 days.
I'm like knocking on the door of getting the first close through you guys, I think.
What's the price point they're looking around?
We've been up as high as 5. It's up online, and you might not be able to see this, but like, hey, Angela, noticed you're like buying and selling. When's a good time to talk? Digital business card.
And on this call, we run over how he's got about 800,000 of that under contract in less than 90 days and just kind of seeing what we can do for them and make sure that everyone's kind of winning. So without further ado, let's dive in and talk to Michael.
A lot of cool updates that we're doing. So basically, I know we talked a little bit about it, but have you watched any Alex Hormozi stuff recently, or you at least you at least like know though, because he sold one of his companies, Gym Launch, for like 46 mil. Long story short, basically what we did was the guy that helps run the call center that they have. So they do appointment setting for gyms, basically. We're just doing live transfers for agents. We bought their course. So they just sell like a school group. It's like pretty expensive, but basically we purchased it and we're going through it. And so essentially how they have it set up is in Go High Level, they're working on individual accounts. So what we're going to do is basically start working on individual client accounts now, which basically just going to provide like the way they have it set up is like unlimited flexibility. We're going to be able to like collaborate on like specific leads. So instead of you kind of being like on your own where it's like, I got these transfers, it's like, we're going to be able to like collaborate on everything. So like the cold leads are obviously cold leads, like ISAs, just get those, figure out the ones that are transfers. But we're even going to be able to have like up to like even like having like maybe sequences, for example, for your transfers. So if you say like, hey, I'm in touch with these ones, but these ones have kind of ghosted. Can the team maybe like go in and try to just like recall them again type thing?
Yeah.
Can we try to reactivate them? Like stuff like that we're going to be able to do. So just a lot more flexibility. Yeah. So like just overall, just a lot better, just like deliverability. And obviously that's just going to be able to increase conversion and just also just like communication and just like overall understanding of how the leads are being worked, exact sequences, exact text messages. If anything needs tweaked for branding purposes or anything, it's just going to be a lot easier. So basically that's what we're doing. And so I got a quick form to fill out here because to do that, we have to get everyone's accounts A2P approved, which is basically just like texting and calling verification.
Yeah, I saw that. I was in the car yesterday, but I saw it was your name, not the customer support line. I was like, oh shit, I wonder what this is. I thought I was in trouble or something. Like I did something wrong. But I read through that briefly, but I'm on the way to a volleyball match, so I haven't gotten around to it yet. But you gotta like fill each of the forms before you can start working on it, something like that.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill it out here with you on the call. So what type of business type do you have? Do you have like an LLC or anything?
No, not at this point.
Oh, okay. That might, I don't know if we'll be able to do it then. Let me see if there's maybe a workaround because there's got to be other people that don't as well. Let me see.
I'm just me for the time being. I haven't gotten into that yet.
Be able to just put ours. We might just be able to put our LLC, but maybe your information for like the business name and your website and stuff.
That's probably that's on the to-do list for sure. I'm starting to make more money, so that way people can't go after my entire person if I fuck something up.
Yeah, it doesn't drive revenue. It's one of those things that like people kind of like Alex Hormozi would say is like building a website or something. It's like all that filler work that makes you think you're doing work, but really it's just like go close clients. Like,
Yeah.
why I got to worry about an LLC? It's not gonna make me pay. So
Right.
it's not that big of a deal. They just require it. I'm just trying to see if maybe there's a workaround here in like their support documents if there's no LLC. In the meantime, did you have anything that you wanted to just make sure that we got covered on this call, or are you just kind of flowing right now?
I'm kind of just working the leads that are coming over at the moment. I'm like knocking on the door of getting the first close through you guys, I think.
Awesome.
I don't know if you remember. Well, you're not making the call. Do you do any of the ISA work or no?
No, I used to be in the trenches, but not
You've
not
logged
anymore.
enough time. But yeah, one of the first ones actually, I got sent over. They're like, yeah, she was on vacation in California and then she came back and we've gone and seen. Last week alone, I put in 3 offers on places and it just hasn't worked out because it's a little nutty, especially in the town they're looking. But they basically, I haven't we're just waiting on the house.
Like you got him locked in. It's just like it's just got him. Dude,
Wet
that's awesome.
Memphis.
What's the name? What's the lead?
Larkins is the last.
Nice. So that's like a January one. So
Yeah, it was like one of the first ones. She was just like, I can't talk right now because I'm on vacation in like San Francisco or something. And then they were down in Florida, so it took like 2 weeks later, so it took a little while. But
interesting. That's awesome. That's like a perfect example of like just not counting someone out. Like, because sometimes we'll get like a partner. They're like, hey, like this person literally had to run, and we're like, well, okay, like we still had the full conversation with them. Like if you want us to shoot you over the call recording or something, like we can, but just take the notes, try to reconnect. But we understand sometimes that can look a little like so we understand where they're coming from. But that's awesome. Like sweet. What's the price point they're looking around?
We've been up as high as 5.
What do they approve? What are they approved for?
Well, so they're doing something a little bit different. They're using a HELOC.
Not familiar.
Home equity line of credit.
Home equity. So they're taking money out of their. Are they selling?
Yeah, they have a place as well. So it's like a little 1-2 just straight.
Nice.
Yeah. So the place they have right now is probably going to be somewhere in like the 354 range, because they're in a 55 plus community. It's funny, like before I even really started showing them places, they're like, yeah, the electrician's coming today. We're painting the place. So they're like trying to make it nice. They put like an addition off the back. So it's like an all seasons room. They just hate their neighbors. Yeah, so that'll be in the 350 to 4 range. And then the house they're buying, we put in an offer that was 525 and it didn't work out. But then I also put in an offer as low as like 375.
Okay, so they're kind of just.
It's not a price point so much as it's the house itself. I mean, no, they're not going to buy something for like 525. They're like really going for it. Yeah, it's a matter of if and when it's cool because it's going to be like the 1-2 punch there. So
that's perfect. Like that's exactly the lead that we're going for right now with those downsizer ads. It's like the downsizer obviously. So anywhere from 5 to 15% of those leads, they typically have something that they're selling. You get them early in the door. So usually when someone's looking at like downsizing, it's like they're really early in the process. Like a lot of the time they're not really talking to agents. Like we've just noticed like client feedback, like that has been the lead that's just been super good. New construction is honestly probably a pretty close just because of how fast you can get those off your hand to like a builder. That's obviously a great appeal. And then two, those people are so early in the buying process that if this is going to be a second they're so early in the buying process if they're looking new construction that they might have a property to sell. And then a lot of the time they usually just end up going on market anyway, even too sometimes. So there's just so much opportunity and flexibility for people. But that's awesome. That's like literally perfect example why we like try to go after those leads there. And then they're older too, so like they're experienced. It's like their first time. So most of the time it should be easier approval unless they're on like a fixed income.
Yeah,
along those lines.
Hand holding. And then there's another woman I talked to. I got 2 transfers on like Tuesday. One of them is this woman, Amelia. She's just looking for a second place so she can rent out her first. So that's kind of moving along. We'll see if we get her out into the field, so to speak, this weekend. But then there's one guy, Amir, and I'm glad that I'm just talking out loud here. He in Monmouth or Ocean County. So I was going to bring that up to you if I could maybe get the credit for that, because he was like, oh, I thought this was for like Trenton area, like Mercer. And I was like, no, it's not me.
Yep. No, you're all good. Yeah. Just let me go ahead and mark that on your sheet here.
Because I'm probably getting close to like the 20 now, right?
It would have been either 20 or 21 there.
Okay.
And then let me mark down though to put a credit on for Amir 908-500-3423.
Yeah, I mean, he was nice, and then the call, he's like, yeah, maybe if I like change my mind, I'll call you back. But he was just being nice. I was like, I'm never gonna hear from this guy ever.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let that one slip through the cracks.
Because I started rattling off because he's like, I'm looking to invest, and I was like, oh, cool, this guy's probably got some money. And he's like, yeah, I want to do like South Jersey, and I was like, okay, cool. So like Ocean and Monmouth County. He's like, no. And I was like, well, that is South Jersey. And he's like, no, I want to be over by like Trenton and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, I can't really help you with that. And that's also not South Jersey. That's like Philly, basically.
Yeah. Those ones, obviously, it's completely up to you if you think it's even a solid lead or not. But yeah, I like with those ones, the biggest thing I recommend is obviously if you still at least want to even try to get paid off of it, just refer it out to someone over there.
Yeah, I brought that up and he was like, no, I'm good. Someone out there, and I was like, okay, I don't even know why he called me, but that's fine.
Yeah, interesting.
Nice guy, nice enough, just not a fit.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What we'll try to do is we'll just put ours in there and just see if it happens to just go through.
Okay.
I
What
don't
is
know
this,
if
like a little document you guys have to?
So yeah, let me show you. So basically with like new changes and everything and regulations with like texting, like there was this huge lawsuit. I don't know if this was recent or not, but just what I was told. It was like Jimmy John's or Papa John's or Little Caesars. This is kind of like the main reason they're doing it. They found like there was like 18 million either people or messages that went out in like 2023 or maybe 2024 of people that like never even opted in for ever receiving messages from them. So it's like everyone's doing that, obviously. Like if we send like cold text, like we've sent cold text blast to agents, for example, that we just scraped off Realtor.com. That's basically like illegal now, or like in a chargeable offense if someone actually wanted to take action and be like, I literally never opted in. So basically, what we have to do is in our privacy policy in the Facebook form, it obviously says that we're reaching out, all this stuff, whatever, what they agreed to. So we have to like submit how they're giving us their information, that they're actually coming in through an ad and like all that. And then if you can see my screen here, we also have to submit. It's not going to show me on this screen, but we also have to submit like what we're saying to them. So like, can they opt out? Is there opt out language on the text? Like text if we have the wrong person or
Right.
all that now. So basically, the first sheet on the page though is legal business name, business type, EIN, business industry, email, website, and then region. And then the next one is basically like, okay, what are you saying to these people and all that stuff. So for example, we have ours. Like if I pull up our account here, or that's our hiring account. If I go Trust Center, so you can see we're approved here. I don't know if it'll let me. It won't let me click into the campaign, but if I pull up, let's go to our A2P document here. So for example, it's just this. So we had to just submit details like this. So use case description, appointment notifications, reminders, follow up, text back, voice calls, message one example. Hey, John, thanks for your interest in company name. The next step would be book consultation for time. We just basically have to tell them like what we're going to be saying and just things along these lines, just fill our information. So just kind of like a silly, simple step that we have to make if we want to send text out of your sub account specifically.
Right.
And make calls for you out of your sub account specifically and get you a local number in your account and all that stuff. So we'll see if there's a workaround with that. I know there's plenty of people that I'm in connections with that probably have just ran into the same issue. So I'll put a note in like a server or something and just see how people are tackling that, or maybe just reach out to go high level support. But cool. Okay, so awesome. Well, obviously glad to see that hopefully that deal's coming through sometime soon. Do they have like, I know like you said, it's kind of just dependent on the home, but they're like ASAP, like as soon as we find that place, they're ready to pull the trigger?
Yeah, so I was trying to kind of get them started. I was like, hey, when should I come down to see your house? Like, we'll get the paperwork started to list your house. And for whatever reason, they were like, I don't want my house on the market until I know I have somewhere to be. And I was like, I understand that, but your offer is not as exciting. Like, you'll be easily rejected if there's a home sale contingency and your house isn't even on the market, right? Like, wherever you're going, they're just gonna be like, no, not doing that. Sorry, that was a little vulgar, but you get the point. But yeah, so then I brought that up to like my lender buddy because she was like, I don't really like want you to come down here if I don't have anywhere to go yet. I don't see the point in that. I was like, okay, weirdly. She's older, stuck in her ways, but whatever. So I got her in touch with my lender buddy, Anthony, and he was like, yeah, pull up this home equity loan, and yeah, they're gonna have to pay on it, but they don't have to start paying on it until they basically hit approve through the app. And this way you can actually present an offer in cash, which is quite literally the opposite of what I was trying to do. Like, hey, let's get you on the market and then get into the next. Like, well, you can basically treat this as a cash offer because it is. And then, obviously you're gonna have to pay off the loan afterwards, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you're gonna get all that money back effectively from
the sale.
Right. So it's basically just getting your money in advance. You might like, let's say it takes a month, you're gonna owe, but like, I don't know what the rate was on it, like 6%. Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you take out and then basically as long as it takes them to get into a place, it's like you're paying interest and then when you sell, you pay that back off the loan amount. That makes
Right.
sense.
And if you make more money on the home sale, that just profit for you.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
I'm not sure why more people don't do that for moving. I guess people just don't want to pay interest, which I get, because if it takes a while to sell your home, now you've got almost like 2 mortgages. But
yeah, because I know a lot of people want that. A lot of people want to be like buy before they sell. And I know there was this company, this guy that we were working with, his brokerage offered. It was something like so you get in your property, and then if your house doesn't sell in 30 days, we just buy it, or 60 days or 90
yeah,
days.
it's a cash for keys program. Yeah.
Buy it right out. And I know that was huge. It was like their Orchard Move First program. I know there's definitely a huge market out there for that. And so if you don't have that availability where there's like some big company or investor that just buy it outright, it's like you just do the home equity thing that you're saying.
Yeah. The only problem with it though is like if it doesn't, a lot of the programs that these have, like if it doesn't sell in 6 months, which in this market would be, if it doesn't sell in 6 days, it's like just
Really?
it's just crazy. But they're basically saying, yeah, it'll be sold at market value. So there's a chance that you could, instead of listing it and having it privately sold by an agent or, some sort of realty office, you're going to basically just get measured up to comps. So you could potentially lose out on, getting a bigger payday. But my buddy Anthony was saying we've done like, I can't even count how high on many of these like equity cash for keys loans that we've done. And they've only ever gotten to the point where they just get sold for market value, like 5 times. So really, really rare. And especially in this market, it's like,
nice.
they're just
How
flying
did you, sorry, go ahead.
They're good. No, that was my last point. Things are flying off the shelf.
Gotcha. Is there, how did you like get them in the door? Like, did it kind of just like they were a good solid lead, you did your follow up and it just happened? Or did you have like an offer where you reached out to them and were like, if I don't get you home in 30 days, like, did you have an offer in place, or did they kind of just like work out? Like, I guess just run me over, like how you kind of got them.
I think they were mostly just ready to go because they're
Okay.
like, we don't like this, like their neighbors. I think that was enough of an impetus for them to be like, I'm out. I have no interest in staying here. I want to go.
Kind of caught them at a good time.
Yeah, but I think with them, I did a particularly good job because I'm refining the process daily, because you can't work on your at bats if you don't get at bats. So yeah, I feel like the process is a lot more refined at this point. So I feel like I laid it out because usually what I'll do, I'll have that call and I'm like, okay, whenever the call is that day, by the end of that same day, I'm going to send you a link with an invitation to see all these listings. We call it a collection. Everyone's got a different name for it.
Yep.
And I said, I'm going to send you this initial. And then after that, just because I have other clients, whether it's true or not, like at various points since I've started working, it's been true that I've been too busy. And other points, I'm just saying I'm not.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm going to send you this, but then after this, it's on you. Like, if you don't like anything you see here, it's on you to like search Zillow and let me know, and then we'll go out. And so I think that really hit home for them. So like, okay, he's busy. He doesn't have time to find us homes, even though, and so she started sending me stuff. And obviously once you have people actively reaching out to you, it's kind of line and sinker. So is it an offer? Not really, but I think delineating boundaries and laying out like kind of helped. But again, I think they're highly motivated because they're like, I need to get out of this house. I don't like people.
Nice.
Good. But yeah, just refining the process a little bit more step by step and making sure that we're, generating movement and outlining what the plan of action is. So, some people are just, they call you and then you never hear from them again. Like, I think the first ever transfer I got, anyway, you're just refining the process and you're figuring out what works and what doesn't, and like, get back in touch. Like I made an action plan here. There's some automated emails that'll go out to people, but then I also have steps for calling and texting. Reaching out to them at least like, I think it's like 8 or 9 times. And then it's like 2 times each following month. So even if I lose them for a second, they're going to continue to hear from me.
Yep.
Perfect. And I'd rather them tell me to get lost than not hear from them at all.
Exactly. Yeah. You always want to, there's like this, I was watching a video on Brand Martell, or what's his name's channel on Brandon, Jim. But he's he's a real estate agent. He has like 200K subscribers, and he's always bringing people on, and he did a live interview with a guy gets a lot of business from social media ads. It was a really good video. Actually, we might have sent it out as a company text, but he was basically saying that so many people are worried about being annoying, but it's like it actually just it's just proven that you will make less money if you are not annoying. Like that's just how it is. Like if you're worried about money, then you need to annoy them. And there's ways you can reach out to people and remind people and follow up with people without just being like, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent. Here's my business card." It's like if you're sending them like a homes list or a market update, that's still following up with them, but it's taking a value first approach too, which is like really what we push. I don't know if you are at all interested. I talked about this a little bit in like the YouTube game at all, but like we have this we have this agent, Chris, from Chattanooga, and he's doing the whole YouTube game, and he's just seeing like, and it's not like he's like printing cash, but like with only 95 subscribers, and I mean 100, sometimes 200, 300, but mainly less on a video. He's been seeing like so much success because like what he's doing is he's just repurposing these and his nurtures and all that, and he's kind of using them as like value proposition. So like if someone literally ever has a question of like, is it expensive to live in Chattanooga? It's like, yeah, I've actually made a video on this. Here's like what 100K can get you, and it's like it's not even him being salesy and being like use me, but it's gonna help people by default because they're getting your face. They know you have market knowledge, and it's just leading with like a value first approach. So it's like he can literally send out an email that's literally just like, hey, just wanted to show you, some updates that's happening in Tennessee here. Just send the video, and then it's almost like people are having a conversation with him. And then I can speak from like experience. For example, like you, you were checking out the YouTube channel, like you just come in already knowing about the service. Trust is higher. It's like these leads that come in from like YouTube and stuff like this, like they're almost like referral, like hot. Like it's really good.
Yeah, there's like a higher level of qualification basically because they know who you are, or at least they feel like they know who you are. You're familiar. So it's easier to be like, okay, I kind of trust this guy already. He's gonna have to do something spectacularly terrible to F this up.
Yeah. So it's like it's so good. Like even if it's not YouTube video specifically, but maybe just like an asset that you've put together to just like help people. It's like if you just send that, just a literal peer help, then by default, it's an outreach message. It's a follow up. They get to see your face, and it's like at the end of the day, like people think that they have to say book a meeting with me or reach out to me if you need help. People will do that by default. They're going to reach out to the person that's helped them the most and been the most valuable by default. You don't got to ask. And I think a lot of people are starting to pick up on that. And that's why I like the YouTube videos and really be able to repurpose those. And if you don't care to make those public, even just making private videos that you just have in your nurture sequences, I think has been really good for some of our partners that are doing that. Just because with these cold leads, a lot of the time it's hard to obviously get in front of them, but it's very easy to at least get an email in front of them with a face and a video. It's like an easy way to just at least them get to see your face, because that's probably one of the biggest things I'd say with these cold leads is like it's just hard for them to see your face. It's hard for them to ever see your face. So if you're able to just do that in a YouTube video, it's like, well, the only other way I'd be able to do that is if I FaceTime them or if I met them in person. That's like really the only other things that are sent them a picture randomly for some reason. But yeah, so I think that's just really good too. Just these cold leads is just your face because that's, if you think about that, that's probably the difference. Like 10 agents reach out to them. How many of them have they actually seen their face, or how many of them have just been sending text emails or text with no actual reason? But if you send a text with a YouTube video, it's almost just like you sending a text with a picture of your face type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I usually do that. Like one of the first things I do is when I send my first message to them, like, hey, here's who I am. And it's like 3 sentences. Let me see if I have one up right now. The last time I was doing outreach.
Those are perfect. I remember back way back in the day, I would do the Instagram outreach messages and send like a personalized video of my face. And the more personalized you can get, the better. But obviously, it's a little less scalable.
Really, I looked up online, and you might not be able to see this, but like, hey, Angela, noticed you're like buying and selling. When's a good time to talk? Digital business card. Obviously, this person doesn't respond, but yeah, I literally just do that every time. So at least there's like a face, someone. And then when people respond and say like no or stop, then I'm just like, that's fine. Like, why? Why? So
Yeah. Like, do
so
I have the
basically
wrong
asking them like,
wrong person?
yeah, I'm
That
like,
one's a good one.
I'm asking them like, are you saying stop because you think I'm a bot? Or are you saying stop because you're not actually looking? Or are you like trying to, and I get that from my sales background, like trying to pull it out of people, like, why are you saying no?
Yeah. Like,
You have every
a
right
lot
to
of,
tell me no, but why? And then we'll
yeah.
work through it. They don't know it, but we're
Exactly.
gonna work through it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, a really good one that we use is kind of acting like, do we have the wrong person? And it's like, well, we know we don't. Like, we know we have
We're pretty
we know
positive.
we have the right person. So it's like, yeah, that one's a good one. Yeah, I like that. Just at least just getting your face in front of them. That's huge.
Yeah,
And
like this one, she said no, and I was like, no, as in you don't know what you're looking for, or no, as you're not looking at all. And
yeah,
she gave me, not really, but thank you for reaching out. And then the conversation continued. I was like, I totally understand you don't have to share details, but is there anything real estate specific I can help with? And then she gave me this paragraph, like, we're looking in Middlesex County.
boom, just like
Yeah.
that, just like that.
And so now this is another person. We'll see, but at least it's
Right.
not like they filled out the form. I maybe hear from them and then I never hear from them again. Like she knows who I am now. And
Yeah,
there was some
exactly.
empathy in those messages. Like she overshared a little bit, but I was like, that's fine. What am I gonna do with that? I don't care. Are you
Yeah.
buying or not?
That also says like a lot about you too. Like, there's literally, if I had to guess, 90% of 95, maybe even 99, like one of 100 are actually gonna probably continue after that. Or some of them are just gonna spam it, oh, bad lead, instead of just kind of going through. Like, if they came in on something real estate, there's something that they need, something like,
Right.
and maybe they have an agent already. Like, there's stuff that can happen, but like there's something that they need. So I think that's just a great example of why you're seeing success and having those conversations is literally that right there. And by the way, if you find yourself, which I know this won't be an issue if you're sending those from your number, but if you ever start using a CRM, like for us, for example, when we start using it for you, there's like opt-out rates and stuff. So let's say if we send a text and people are opting out at too high of a rate, we had this for Brian, one of our agents in Oklahoma. He was sending kind of like a business card message like that, and he had a lot of people saying like to stop or not interested, and they flagged his account for like opt out rate too high, like people don't want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And we tweaked his approach a little bit, where we had the business card and we had the details and everything, but we just like, again, we shifted to a value first approach where it was less like about him and more about, hey, this is me, but I'm only reaching out because we have this new program. And I was just wondering, if you're still looking to make a move, would it make sense? So it's like, we're given
Yeah.
information on a program, and it was like that small tweak, I think, dropped his like opt out rate like a ton, and he wasn't getting disapproved anymore. So yeah, sometimes it's even just like a little bit more thought that you just have to put
It's like
into
an
it.
offer, like you're saying. There was an offer that was made.
Exactly.
Some people are gonna say get lost and still, because that's just how people are. But
Yeah.
like you said, the number dropped because people are like, maybe. And maybe they don't even respond, but they're not opting out. They're like, interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you lead with a value first approach too, and we've even noticed this with our agency, is like people might just stay opted in because they'll be like, oh, maybe he'll give me something more valuable. Like, this doesn't make sense now, but maybe the next valuable thing he provided would maybe make more sense. So sometimes if you lead the value first approach, people will just stay subscribed because they're maybe just waiting for the right thing that makes sense for them. If that incident. So yeah, that's a good one. Awesome. Well, I gotta run from you here. If you need anything, let me know. Obviously, we have the bi-weekly calls just to stay consistent. Like, if you ever want to move them to weekly, if you have any questions, we need to have an urgent call, like, we can make that happen.
For sure.
Phone call we need to schedule, anything like that. You got the phone number, the support email. If you need absolutely anything, let me know. And yeah, we'll take it from there.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it. Feel better.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good rest of your week and weekend, man. See ya.